girls, today we are going to talk about the importance and how to protect your feminine energy. How external influences can have a big impact on our energy. When we want to be in our feminine energy in this world and society, we can't let anyone or anything have access to us because it all influences how we feel inside and how we are going to show up and feel. Nowadays, we are exposed to so many things that disturb our feminine energy. Social media, the news, fast food, music, you name it. And lots of these things are actually exposed to us constantly. We don't really get a break from it. And often it is actually done to keep you small and make us scarce so that we can be controllable. The good news is, even though it isn't completely inevitable that we are going to be exposed to energies, bad energies that are going to influence us, we still have a lot of control over this, and that's what we are going to learn and work on today. Start with the most obvious factor that maybe most of y'all already thought of, and that is the people around you. The people that you hang around with all the time, the people that you are closest to. A famous saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And it is true, because subconsciously or consciously you copy things from each other, and obviously if you're around them so much, their vibe impacts yours. If your friends are constantly complaining, being negative, gossiping, engaging in unhealthy habits like smoking or drinking or partying constantly, and they are not doing anything to develop themselves, to level up their minds, to level up themselves, to work through things that they need to work through. And it's going to affect you as well. And it's big that you also will start to engage in those unhealthy habits. And even if you don't, it still affects you. Because, okay, maybe they won't really drag you down to their level if you still have your own values that you stick to. But they're also not elevating you, or you're going to drop down to their level, or they might go up a bit to yours, but it's not going to help you in any way because you'll stay stagnant. Negative complaining friends will drain you so much. For example, I used to have a friend at school, and every time she would arrive, she would already complain about things that went wrong on the way, or how much she would dread the day ahead. And that would also have an impact on me. I would also start my day like more unhappy, more feeling like I don't feel like this day, we need to do this and this. This person would also let her frustration out by commenting on other people's looks or behaviors, gossiping about people that don't even necessarily deserve it. This also made school feel so much harder for me. Like, the difference when I started to hang out with more positive friends is crazy. These people are often also energy vampires. They complain constantly. They are always in a victim mentality. Always there is something going wrong in their life and they have it so hard. And they always need your attention, and it will drain you completely. Remember that friendships also should be like kind of equal. If you're up here and they're down here and you constantly need to help them with their issues, listen to them, listen to their complaining, it's going to affect you also, and you're only giving and you're not getting anything back that is going to help you level up. You're basically a therapist at this point. You should also get energy from that friend. Okay, everyone can have a problem sometimes, and then you listen to your friends. Obviously, you're there for your friends, but if it's constant, that's a whole different thing. If you hang out with them and you feel drained afterwards, you feel tired, and it's every time like that, that's a sign that this person is draining your energy. And it's not healthy to keep this friendship in your life and engage in this friendship constantly, give energy to this friendship constantly. When you hang out with a friend, most of the time you should come back home and you should feel inspired and happy and like you just enjoyed it. You feel very good afterwards, instead of like you need to sleep for 2 days, you know? Remember that you can literally choose your friends. You choose if you hang out with people that drain you constantly, or if you hang out with people that actually inspire you and lift you up. So choose wisely, because you're only sabotaging yourself by constantly hanging around with people that are like that. And I'm not saying like throw all your friends away, but if you need to, distance yourself from them. They can be a good person, but if they're complaining and all these things all the time, it has a bad effect on you. Even if they don't mean to, it's just a fact. So make new friends or hang out more with like high vibe friends. When someone is in victim mentality, even though they are a good person, you are not obligated to save them or stay friends with them if it's hurting you and harming you. Especially if you already set a boundary with that friend and are crossing it over and over, or they get mad when you set a boundary, you need to distance yourself. Because if you set a boundary with someone, they don't come through with the boundary, they break it, and you keep staying friends with them, they're going to lose respect for you, and your boundary literally means nothing, and you are also going to lose confidence in yourself because you don't keep the promises that you made with yourself. The same goes for relationships. If your partner keeps crossing your boundaries, complains all the time, disrespects you, engages in unhealthy habits, is very toxic, you need to ask yourself if it's worth it. Is it worth ruining your life? Even though you feel attached to that person, is it worth it? You can find someone else, and it is more important to stay true with yourself and think about your life. Because maybe you love that person now, but in 20 years it won't be funny anymore when life throws you like more problems and harder things. Like, it's not going to get better if the relationship is already like that. Think long term and protect your energy, protect yourself and your future, because it is your life. Remember that. Now, for the people pleasers, I know it is hard to set boundaries with people or cut people off when you known them for a long time. That's why I would say, if it's too hard at the beginning, like, take it step by step and start small. If you need to set a boundary but you don't know how you will say it, like, first write it down for yourself and just decide, this is what I'm going to say, and just prepare it. Don't complain, don't over explain, just set a clear boundary. For example, if someone is constantly texting you and expecting texts back constantly, say, hey, I can't answer your messages 24/7 because I need to protect my time or my energy. That's it. Stop over explaining yourself, because just setting a clear boundary is way more powerful. If they get mad or cross the boundary, like, don't freak out at them, but then you know that's not a real friend and you need to distance yourself, because that is way more powerful than making a whole drama out of it. Because again, if you keep accepting it every time that people cross a boundary, they will start taking advantage of you. So, to protect your own self-trust and confidence, stick to your boundaries. Something that we have left control over is, for example, our family. If you're, for example, in a house where your parents are constantly complaining or being toxic, it's not like, oh, I'm going to cut them off, obviously. What I would suggest in that situation, like, if it gets bad or you need to remove yourself from the energy because you feel like it's influencing you, like, create a space that you can go, that you can feel calm. Like, for example, in your room. It's your space with your energy, and you can pull back to it when you need to. Or maybe to a friend or a partner, but somewhere where you can really, like, recharge your energy. And if you really can't avoid it, for example, you're at school, you're at work, and your colleagues or your co-students are really draining you, just talk to yourself, like, I don't need to take their energy on. Don't react to everything that they're saying, all their drama. Don't participate in it. And you can also, like, visualize that there's like a bubble around you and their energy can't come in. It's like your bubble with your energy and they can't affect it. This can literally help. It sounds silly, but it can actually help to protect your energy. You don't need to take their energy on. You don't need to participate in it. Now let's talk about the next factor, social media, a big one nowadays. You want to protect your feminine energy, but you still want to be able to scroll on TikTok, scroll on Instagram or whatever. Make sure that you create a positive feed. If you want to protect your energy, you need to take control of the media you consume. If you constantly come across content about bad things happening or people complaining collectively and acting depressed and like making it a trend to feel bad and complain about things, or listening to sad music all of the time, you are going to notice that your energy isn't where it needs to be. Make sure that if you consume, positive high vibe content, content that makes you laugh, self-development content about things that you want to learn about and that are actually going to elevate you. Press non-interested on all those negative posts so that your algorithm will feed you more positive things that you actually want to see and not those things that are draining you. Me personally, I actually never really scroll on TikTok anymore. I used to in like 2020 and stuff. I was addicted, don't worry. I sometimes fall into the trap of like going on Instagram for 10 minutes and scrolling. I still do that too, but not more than that. I only try to feed my mind's high vibe self-development content about feminine energy, confidence, you name it. I also do not watch the news at all anymore. I used to have to at high school, but I stopped it completely. I also advise you to not really watch the news anymore. Because you know what? It's still a business. They're trying to keep you reading, keep you hooked. And how do they do that? By making you scared. Because that's how you keep watching and engage, because you are very emotionally invested. Yes, it is a fact that there are very bad things going on in the world, but that is also almost the only thing they show you. There are still so many good people and beautiful things that they also could share, but they don't. They show you only the bad side of the world, and that is obviously making us feel bad and scared and lowering our vibe and definitely taking us out of our feminine energy. If you think, oh, if I won't watch the news, I will miss something, I need to keep myself updated to the news. If there's something that you actually need to know, you will hear it. People also still talk about the news constantly, so you will hear it somewhere. That's just a fact. And in the last 2 years or so, I have barely watched the news, and I don't feel like I've missed anything. If there was something I need to know, which wasn't really the case actually, but I would hear it if I would have to know it. The next point is music. We all love it, don't we? But unfortunately, it can also have a bad impact on our energy. Just like the news, the radio loves to feed us sad music or music that makes us emotional. And I feel like music can literally put us in a mood that we weren't even in the first place. Like you put on a sad song and you're like, oh, I'm so sad. Well, you maybe weren't even in the first place. And I think that actually can be quite problematic. Because some of these songs we are hearing on the radio constantly, or we are playing constantly because we have our own Spotify playlist, what we are listening to the whole day, and you come across that song every day and you're like, oh, I feel sad. Well, you actually weren't feeling sad in the first place. And this way we often also stay stuck in old memories. Like in the past, when I was like 13 or 14, I would literally put on music to make myself sad, to make myself cry if I didn't feel so good. I was addicted to feeling sad and like acting the victim. I would also listen to music that would make me think about old memories or old situations while I was literally maybe even over that situation. But the music kept triggering it or reminded me of it constantly, which kept me in a loop. And this got me nowhere, because all the time I spent listening to sad music, I could also have put into things I love doing, hobbies or bettering myself or whatever. So watch out that you aren't listening too much to music that makes you emotional or reminds you of things that are already in the past, because at some point we need to let the past go. Also be careful with the lyrics of the songs that you're listening to. Is it about partying, drinking, heartbreak, being cheated on, or just terrible things? Or is the lyrics about happiness, beautiful things in life, and confidence? Lyrics of songs will even subconsciously, even if you don't think so, have an impact on the way you think if you listen to it constantly, because it keeps affirming those things in your brain. And this will help you manifest situations that you don't want to manifest. For example, if you ever went through heartbreak and now you believe like, oh, there are no good men out in the world, and you're literally going to listen to music that is about being cheated on and heartbreak, like it's going to affirm in your brain that it is that way. Well, it's not true, obviously. There are still good people out there. but that is what is going to be affirmed in your brain. I do agree though that in some periods of your life, music can help you to process things, and you can let your emotions out in music if it helps you. It can be a tool, but staying in it and listening for these sad songs from like months, years on end, that is not going to help you. At some points you need to say it has been enough, because it can also keep you stuck in those emotions. So just choose your music wisely and listen in moderation. Your music can not only make you sad, but if you choose the right music, it can actually lift you up, make you more confident and feel more happy. Okay, I'm going to stop the video here because I see it's already getting a bit long. I have still way more things that I want to talk about on the subject, so I think I'm going to make a part 2 next week. This was my first part about how to protect your feminine energy or your energy in general. If you're interested in feminine energy and confidence, subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it and you're going to implement it and see good differences in your life. And I will see you in the next video.